so dead inside. I feel like I'm just walking without any clear direction of where I'm heading, and I'm at a loss. I find myself often staring at the wall, wondering why I'm even here. I feel like a no one. I feel like I cannot do anything. I feel powerless. I feel like I should be doing so much more. But at the same time, I cannot bring myself to do it. I have this fear that if I suddenly stop and rest and reflect, that I won't be able to get back up. Now, I know this channel is all about self-improvement, but something that I've come to realize is that having that mindset that I'm constantly needing to be working on myself, that I somehow always have to be striving for something, was beginning to feel more like a chore than a choice. However, looking back, I don't think this is the first time that this has happened to me. Actually, it is during this time, right before my exams are around the corner, that I begin to feel quite lost. I get stuck in my head a lot. If I got $1 for every second I spent overthinking, right now I would be a trillionaire. Basically, Elon Musk would be poor compared to me. Jokes aside, I just think it is when I don't have some set routine that I just get so stuck, or at least I feel like I'm stuck, because I'm more alone. And as someone with ADHD that constantly has a million things on her mind, having more time to just be with my own thoughts scares me, because they are louder. I can hear them more clearly. I find myself looking a lot at the past, and I regret so many things. And it makes me feel like I've done nothing with my life, that I have nothing to show for myself, and basically that I've wasted my entire life. We live in a culture where evaluating how good we are has now shifted from how our community were seeing us progress to how we ourselves see our progression. Basically, we don't need a camera watching us 24/7. The one that's surveilling us is ourselves. The one that's criticizing us is us. The constant desire to always self-improve and become better steals the joy out of finding things we like. I love cooking and baking. I would have never discovered that if I decided that I was not good at it and that I should focus on my strength only. If I had stopped the first time I burned myself, or the first time I burned a cake, I would have never unlocked this part of me. This part of me that finds so much joy and so much peace when she's just allowed to experiment in the kitchen. I turned something that I saw as a weakness to something that I now see as a passion. I would not call myself a proficient cook, but why do I have to? Why can I just not simply cook or bake because I simply enjoy it? Why can I not just say that I like cooking and baking without constantly needing to prove that I need to be improving? In life, it's like we're often either climbing a mountain or looking back down and regretting choices that we made in the past. And then we don't focus on the next step. We don't focus on the now. We have become either future-orientated or past-centric. Many of us are told that we either need to have a 5-year plan figured out to know what we want to do in those 5 years and how to get there, or that we should be looking back and reflecting on the choices we made. And this is supposed to help us in some way. But what this often does is just fill us with regret. It is a feeling of regret that haunts us, that makes us feel dead inside. It makes us feel guilty that we didn't take the steps. And guilt is such a joy killer.
Vale.
It continues to steal memories and precious time, and it just increases this feeling and lack of purpose. Now, there's an interesting study that asked people that were on their deathbed what they regret most in their life. And the most common theme was things that they didn't get to do. It was not things that they had done to other people, and it was not even things that people had said to them. What most people said were along the lines of regretting not having spending more time with their family, regretting that they didn't travel more often, and regretting that they feared being themselves and lacked the courage to pursue their dreams. Most of us fear death. We are constantly looking ahead, feeling like time is running out of our hands. And that's why we constantly need to be doing something, because we don't know when we won't be here anymore. But something that I've come to realize is that this fear serves us no good. Constantly fearing doing something is not gonna prevent death.
A ver, Erika, te voy a ayudar nada más.
What fear does, it prevents life. Here's the truth. You are going to die, just like I'm gonna die. You let this dictate the path that your life takes every day. If you let the fear of death be the driving factor of what you see your purpose in life is, you are eventually gonna get stuck. Something that has helped me is to live more in the present. It has helped me realize what I actually value and want to prioritize in my life. Moments like this, where I get to cook pancakes for my parents, where I get to spend the days relaxing and being with them, and just talking. After all, guys, these are the moments that we take with us. We have to begin asking ourselves what we want to see and remember when we look back. One of my biggest regrets in life is not having the courage to just be myself. I regret a lot spending so much time worrying about things that never have happened. And I regret not having lived more in the moment and choosing to get stuck in my own dark hole. I feel embarrassed admitting that I often spend too much time chasing the wrong things because I paid a lot of attention on what other people expect of me. I still find it hard to express my feelings, and although I have become better, I'm still afraid of showing myself. While I love cooking and baking, not many people actually know this about me, but I also like writing. I have a little journal where I write down book ideas I have and other things that I would like to write. But I'm scared to share this part of me with other people, because although it feels so true to me, I feel like it's not what people expect of me. But why do we always let other people's expectations dictate what we are able to share about ourselves? Why can we not just be comfortable in showing who we truly are? People place labels to things too often, but we forget the power that labels have. When we let a word, a personality trait, a definition define who we are, and we internalize it, then we feel like we cannot go beyond that, that we have to stick in our lane. It basically becomes our identity. When I was small, I was told I was too loud and too annoying, that I would never be good at math. And then when I started to focus on my studies, I was suddenly the smartest one in the room. I became the academic one, the one you went for if you needed answers. My grades became my identity. I lost myself. Every day I would wake up, study for hours, go to school, do my extracurriculum activities, come back home, study, sleep, repeat. That became my routine. If I was the smart one, obviously I had to be studying all the time. Obviously I needed to get 100% on every test. I couldn't fail. This was what was expected of me, right? I took on this identity. What it did, it robbed me of times that I could have spent with my family, traveling. It robbed me of times of self-care, to discover what I really like and who I wanted to become. It robbed me of finding my purpose. Mommy! Because I was studying all the time, I forgot to take care of myself. I would get into this hyper-focused mode where all I could do was study, and I would get so frustrated when I couldn't concentrate. This is a time of my life I regret. I spent so much time worrying about the next exam that I paid little attention to not only my family, but to myself. I lost connection with my voice. Because of this label, I had become an empty shell.
Or in eat your
What's the review? It's hard to break free from the labels that we attach to ourselves. But here's a reminder that you are much more than what you think you are. You don't only have to be one thing. You are a complex human being that can have multiple passions and that can be multiple things at the same time. Our lives are constantly changing. The only constant thing in life is change. And grabbing tight to one kind of label and letting that define the rest of our life just doesn't fit to how life actually works. If our life, our priorities, and our environment are shifting, if we decide not to shift with it and not go with the flow, then we will feel always like we're lacking something, that we are not good enough, and that essentially it's our fault. So I'm here to remind you that it's okay not to be the smart one anymore. It's okay not to be the healthy one anymore. That you don't have to be what you were in the past in order to be you. While our future selves are shaped and molded by our past selves, it is our present self that decides what direction this takes. And if we're constantly seeking to manipulate this in any way, we will either steer so far away from where we want to be, or not even get there in the first place because we're stuck with the idea that we have to remain the same. We have to take the risk. It's hard to realize that we're actually not perfect, and that despite what others might tell you, you don't have to constantly be working on yourself to be better or stronger or faster. That sometimes it's just okay to be what feels right now. All our choices come with consequences, and it is often the thought of these consequences that makes us fear change and take risks. Basing our choices on the consequences rather to what aligns with us makes it incredibly hard to find our purpose, to find our passions, to essentially find our voice. We spend too much time thinking about not only what we want to do, but also about the things that we can essentially do instead of actually doing them. We spend more time living in our heads that we forget that we're also living on this earth too. Personally, I'm so grateful I had time to spend it with my parents before getting back to university and starting my exams. I had been missing them so much, and I hadn't realized how important their presence is. It literally boosts my mood every time. When I'm around them after, I feel so much stronger, and I'm so grateful I can have the opportunity to travel and spend a whole week with them. I really needed this break to slowly build myself back up and to get out of my head. When I look back at these clips, I'm happy to say that I don't regret that I didn't spend enough time with them. I'm happy to say that for once, I actually feel present in the moment. I felt more like a human being than a human doing. I want you to realize that you don't need to every day be doing something to be someone. We've made it. Home sweet home, I guess. Also, I need to check the stuff I left inside the fridge to see if it's okay. I'm so glad to be back. Also, my phone is about to die. So that's great. I'm fine! Simply you being here is enough. Every day you don't have to work on yourself and be better than yesterday. Some days you can just be you, and that's perfect. Just like anything, we don't have to take self-improvement to the extreme. It's all about baby steps. It's all about choosing every day to be the truest you can be. Some days that might look like taking a risk, but other days that can just look like a normal average day. You can do something valuable every day if you just have the courage to be yourself. Every day you wake up and you choose yourself, you come to realize how incredibly amazing you are.
Can't believe that I get to see those eyes for more than tonight. Swear you must have fell from the sky. I feel so lucky I met you.